Helo agus fáilte go trí seascad an program ag BBC Alba a hadal go crea scéal an bharrachd an an sil spórs na Halba. Is me Iona Ballantyne agus ha mi tolaí teara go bhfuil àrd-oifigear na Strathclyde Sirens agus Ball-lìn Alba Claire Nelson ar as callrooms in studio. Ar program na heiche noch fir mi hínas Claire súlarás ar seusan iongantach na Strathclyde Sirens. Cluinnidh sin bhfuil cluicheadair-dion a Malawi Towera Vickhumbo when a chiad seusan éiche callrís na Sirens agus ha sin bruidhinn Emily Muskett tí a cho sin bonn-òir ag na Geamaichean Oilimpigeach an a tócail chuideman. Go leor chumas cacna grain maha. Claire, welcome back to 360.
Thank you for having me back again.
Well, I was just going to open the show by saying what a 180 from the first time you were on, because things have changed dramatically for the Sirens and for netball since then.
Iona, you could almost say it's a 360. See what I did there? Yeah, honestly, it's amazing because you guys have followed our journey with us this season, coming into the complete and utter known, going behind closed doors, not knowing what it was going to look like, whether we would have cancellations, you know, whether anyone would engage with the sport, to then seeing the momentum and the build, and actually it giving us confidence that we can use this platform this year to really grow, amplify our voice, accelerate our strategies too. Sitting here now, and it's not often I'm speechless, but I'm pretty overwhelmed by what we've done on and off the court. And it's just, it keeps exceeding my expectations, and we've still got a huge mountain to climb. You know, this really just feels like we're at the start of something, but to be at this point after everything we've been through, and to have such an exciting future, and to have people talking about our sport, press covering our sport, the results on court, just the energy and love around the team, the conversations I'm having with people who are excited to want to work with us and be part of this journey. After the year we've had, or the 18 months we had, it feels really special.
And you also had another special weekend last weekend when you actually got to watch them in person. That must have been amazing.
Well, it was amazing to leave Glasgow for a start, and to leave the confines of my home where I work, rest and play. But yeah, it was so special to be on court. I think I said it was something like 430 days since I last saw the team play live in person, which was at that brilliant game at the Emirates Arena last year when we thought we've just got it, full arena, and then the whole league shut down. So to see them in person was really special, to see the work that the league have done to create this fantastic TV product, but also a really biosecure, safe, controlled environment for the athletes to be able to perform in, and to see us get that victory back, you know, clawing back from behind to work so hard against a top 4 team. We all knew it was there. We've been waiting on this victory against Wasps as well since our first ever game at the Emirates Arena back in February 2017. So it was a really beautiful weekend for so many reasons.
Does it give you even more hunger to be at every game and to have fans? I know fans are now allowed to return to the Super League, but actually up in Scotland, I mean, for next season, that must be hugely important for you.
Absolutely. But we need both, Iona, and this is something I've been talking a lot about, because absolutely we need to convert the digital audience, the people at home watching on our YouTube, Sky Sports streaming. I think we're hitting around about 40,000 viewers per game at the moment for Sirens games. We need to convert that into bums on seats in arenas, but we can't lose that visibility. There are enough people out there to fill our arenas and still show that there's a demand for the digital linear broadcast product as well, and that's how we start to change the game. So yeah, I can't wait to have the fans in there cheering them on. I think the Sirens tribe are amongst the best in sport. They are certainly very noisy and passionate, and they want to be there just to see and feel those victories and those performances. But we shouldn't have one or the other, and this season has shown that we should be able to grow both.
And the thing is that that'll be inspiring so many kids coming through the ranks who are now able to see this. They can switch on the TV at the weekend and they can watch the Sirens play. If you're online, if you're reading a newspaper, you're seeing netball in there. I mean, I know Headlines Not Sidelines was a massive project for you, which has totally taken off.
When I launched Headlines Not Sidelines on International Women's Day, which was literally last time I was here, I knew that I didn't want to have an International Women's Day where we just talked about the problems in women's sport or profiled it. I wanted to take actionable change because that's who we stand for, particularly at Sirens and Netball Scotland. So Headlines Not Sidelines, we worked with our media team and we thought, how do we actually get the coverage we deserve? You know, we were an elite sport, travelling to England week in, week out, getting these great results, inspiring tens of thousands of people, getting global reach and fans, and yet it wasn't being picked up. But instead of moaning about that, we wanted to learn how to work with it and how to influence change and how to create content that the press channels wanted to put out there, and we really encouraged our fans to engage with that and to consume it. And we are now at the point, there's a double page spread today in the Daily Mail. We had 6 national papers cover our results and our match report at the weekend. We are being covered digitally by a range of leading broadcast channels. We've even got kind of teen magazines doing 3-4 page spreads and pullouts. So all of that visibility is showing that actually there is a future in women's sport. There is opportunity in women's sport. And through the comments online or on TikTok, when you see girls saying, that looks cool, I want to be a Sirens athlete, and oh, actually, I can get paid to be a netballer. That for me that's game changing, but this is why this has got to just be the start, and we cannot sit here and go, right, job's done. We've got to keep building the momentum, and then we need to start building it across other women's sports as well.
Well, it's so amazing seeing. It's actually such a pleasure to watch the growth. I'm looking forward to actually the next time you're on and actually seeing where you'll be then. It's so good.
It's exciting.
Thank you. Hánig Towera Vickhumbo agus skipan a Sirens ag táiseach na season agus àrd-oifigear dhèanamh san cluicheadair-dion in Malawi ag críoch na Geamaichean Oilimpigeach han skipa uirithge ar a bhuanig.
Saun le ball cosha hiú turas a chluich rúnach na Strathclyde Sirens Towera Vickhumbo de Malawi, nu de bhaiach céad buna díoch agus. Ach nu de chuide chumain ball cosha náisiúnta Geamaichean Oilimpigeach dhéar son grúis, be còmhla bhain don skipa ball cosha, ach buanach a bhain don skipa náisiúnta Ball-lìn.
After I played football for quite long, there was a time whereby football as a nation in Malawi did not do well, so the football body decided to freeze all the football games and tournaments so that the football in Malawi should develop to fit for the international games. So it's when I switched to netball, where my sister was very competitive in the netball. So she said, "Come and try your luck at my team at netball." So that's where when I went there, I went the coach there. I said that I would train you because of your height.
Get a chluich Towera game ball cosha turas na gad an dúich nu de híl na Geamaichean. Haid a dúich ar chu 3 túrsan ag na Geamaichean Oilimpigeach agus na Geamaichean Oilimpigeach le Ball-lìn. Agus go sáirichte chluiche ag na Geamaichean Oilimpigeach sa chosta náir an na dablas a hoch díag, díad céad míasan a séuige in dhéan na cóil a bré.
First of all, it was a tough decision for me, like, you know, having a baby and knowing that I'm gonna live like a 3-month-old baby, because I left her when she was 3 months, and I started my training with the Malawi national team for almost like 3 weeks. So when I went to Australia, she turned to 4 months. So it was a bit difficult, but because of the help from the Malawi national team coaches and players, they are all like helping me, like encouraging me that you can do this. We need you in the team. Also because of my mom, because she said I'll take care of the baby. You don't have to worry about the baby. I'll be with her. So go and concentrate on the games.
Ha Towera máhal iad an brosnachach agus an taich a haiad ein van mahal tron a driach. Agus a fysaichgen nach rugi a leit a haiad a cholanach as eunish an kuchikach sin.
I just feel like my mom is the one who does a great job on my career, because without her, it would have been difficult for me to do both sports and at the same time to give my daughter motherly love. You know, I'm here whenever I travel with the team. I left my daughter with my mom. Up to now, when I'm playing here, it's because of my mom. She's taking care of my daughter. So I'm just proud of my mom because of this.
Eid hoiseach id Vitality Super League Ball-lìn Alba, va Towera a fadachgin groiad an ceann a riing, a bhí a cleich an a fat professionte, as de bhí a glúsat gúna 7 stars. Ach a bhad an tolachas sin nu the Stata League le buí pandemic, agus ac an unam, gat du di cúna dúr, Colladine Stars.
When I was coming at Stars last year, I was very happy because it was like my wishes are coming true. So, and then when we started playing games, then it's when the COVID came, and then they called off the league. At the same time, the 7 Stars, I think, did not want to renew my contract, so it was very disappointment because I still needed to play like for the Netball Super League. So that was quite disappointing because it was like the leagues I didn't show off my skills because of the league, and then at the same time Stars did not want to renew my contract, so that was disappointment.
Hannig an bruidhinn ag Towera beo dhíos nu de húdí braf on the Strathclyde Sirens son cleich calla dua, glúsad nach roian dúl.
I needed to pray for the Super League when the league called off, and then it was like a surprise for me because that time when Sirens approached me that I should come here, the signing window was already ended. So I almost gave up that I think this season I will not play for the Netball Super League. So when I heard the call that Sirens want me to play, it was like a breaking news in my heart. I was so happy for the news. Yeah, so I was like, yes, I'll go and help. I'll help Sirens. I'll do whatever they want me to do and to show on the court.
Either run cliche, like Kuchan is to touch other ethnic Sirens, as we come as a height to be click. A Towera either be sorry to Mamma Chigley. As I crack and in a coaching and agus or cold clicker and has currach, is here son Tulliach, a good kuchach.
I'm happy with my performance now. When my friends say that Towera, you are doing good, but honestly, I need to step up much further, and I'm just thankful for my friends and my teammates, the coaches, because whatever they told me on the ground, I think I utilized it on our matches, and with the effort which my teammates bring in the game, they made me look like I'm outstanding on our games.
Far run cliche, ha Towera in a fadaching of Limar Parch Ford and the Sirens, a general video on TikTok, agus a gal unia called the clicheadair-dion. I call to the Commonwealth of Limar Parch to Hewlach Sirens.
I have good relationship with the players. As I'm staying with our captain Gia. We are staying in the same flat, so she's the one who take me to places, showing me around. Yeah, at first I was a bit nervous, meeting new teammates, but now it didn't take me long like to have relationship with everybody. So when we have like free time, we go to the park and just have some fun and to have like recovery from our brain. Honestly, I've never done a TikTok before, so when I came here, it's Bethan said that Towera, we need to do this TikTok thing. So I was like, I've never done a TikTok thing, so I enjoyed it, and I thought that this is gonna be my first TikTok video. When I saw the TikTok, I even sent the video to my relatives. They were surprised. You are starting now being on the TikTok. We'll be seeing you on the TikTok. So it's just like a funny thing. It builds relationship.
Chanela go Jeffer ca héitras an am di teach, Malawi Towera Vickhumbo a bhí mochtal in an úrtan a haid colin uge go seo, as in asar eisiampla de chláunian Africanach, agus maithir an cúteach.
Yeah, I'm so proud. I'm so proud. You know, in Malawi, there were like 3 girls who play professional netball, like Mwenda, Joyce, and Rorin, whom I just meet when we play like international games. So it was my long time wish that maybe me one day I will play one of the big super leagues. Anyway, that was just my wish. So I'm just proud that I'm living in my wish. I just feel so because most of the young girls in Malawi, whenever they see me, they would come to me and ask me how I can help them, like to get into Super League or to competitive netball. I almost help a lot of girls, and at the same time, I'm the person who see like when the other girls get pregnant inside their career. I would go to them and encourage them. That's not the end. They just have to work hard and to prepare their body. It's just normal. You can have a baby. That's not the end of their career. You can just have a baby and then get back to normal again.
Claire, what an amazing athlete and woman, and somebody who must just be so proud to have on your team.
She has been an absolutely world-class addition, not just because she's come in and taken the entire league, let alone Sirens, by storm by being, you know, the top defender in the league, #1 intercepts, #1 deflections. Her work rate is incredible, and I think I shout yes Towera about 20 times in a game as she takes turnover after turnover and just keeps us competitive in the game. But just, you know, you listen to that off the court, how spectacular is that? You know, for somebody to have a child at home in Malawi, to have returned to international match play 4 months after having a baby, where most of us who've had children are just kind of putting normal clothes on at that point and getting out of pajamas, but you know, but she's so aware of her responsibility as a role model and how she wants to show girls back home what can be achieved, and she's the epitome of using the power of sport to change your life and to change the game, and she's just fit in beautifully with the team, and yeah, she's I'm really proud to have her as the Siren this season.
Well, there's so much to talk about from there, because as Towera mentioned, being a role model is hugely important, and you can see how much it means to her to actually to be given that back.
Yeah, I mean, we talk all the time about female athletes being role models, and that visibility piece is absolutely critical. So whether it's being able to see that you can earn a living professionally through sport, or whether, you know, seeing a person of colour or seeing different body shapes, different backgrounds, whatever your journey is, seeing a mother, what we're now doing is opening up accessibility to young people, to girls, to say, you know, it doesn't matter where you come from or what your personal ambitions might be, or who you are, you can still make it, and there are options for you, and there's accessibility. So yeah, she takes that very seriously, as do we, by providing her with a platform to talk about this. We featured her in a lot of videos. We're doing a profile on maternal mental health this year, where this month, where we've talked, as have I, about the challenges of being a professional person, whether it's in industry or in sport, but also balancing that, being a parent. And Towera brings her own unique story that many of us will never understand or comprehend, but she inspires and makes you think, yes, we can do this. And most importantly, she forces me to go, okay, how do we provide more opportunities for women and girls like her?
Well, if we talk about the motherhood aspect, I mean, there's so many things to even talk about within that, but for Towera to be a mother and play in the Commonwealth Games 4 months after giving birth, that in itself is unbelievable. And
you know, they came in and they were serious contenders in the Commonwealth Games as well. You know, they're ranked 6th in the world and 7th, potentially 6th, 7th, but they came and they beat New Zealand, world #2. So, you know, they came to do a job, and this isn't a particularly well-funded team. They don't have access to all the sports science and provision that we do. You know, she came in after having a baby and delivered on the court, and that is unreal, and it shows the strength of character that she has and that resilience. But it's a really important message because there are so many females across multiple sports who feel that they have to make the choice of I play my sport or I have a child. And where we're trying to get to, and something that I'm actively encouraging, is that how do we support female athletes to be able to do both? And she's shown you can return to court. We have got Claire Maxwell, who is our national coach, a Sirens player, sorry, our national captain, Sirens player who took on a coaching role this year because she was pregnant. She's just had baby Lucy, I think a few weeks ago now, and she fully intends to return to court and to be part of Sirens, but more importantly to lead the Thistles into the Commonwealth Games next year. And it's my job and our job as a sport and industry to make sure that we can support her to do that, and that she's not feeling that she needs to sacrifice one or the other. Now, none of it's easy. None of it's easy to be a working mother or to be an athlete who's a parent, but it doesn't mean it shouldn't happen. And I'm proud that my club and my organisation is really helping to support mothers to also be the athletes that they want to be as well.
Well, it's such an important topic, and that's the thing, when you feel valued as a mother, you will want to return to your sport and work even harder to kind of reach higher levels. There's a really nice quote from Towera in an article that I was reading, and she said, "It doesn't mean that if you get pregnant during your career that you won't be the same person as before. As long as you work hard to recover your body and your skills, everything is possible."
You know, Jess Ennis talks about this. Jess Ennis said that, yes, it was hard, but when she came back, she was a better athlete for it. And there is something about when you've got that drive of being a parent and you know, you've got children who you want to be a role model for, or you want to get home for, and you want to, you know, your life choices change, but it means that every choice you make is a more powerful one. And I talk a lot actually to business about allowing women the flexibility of how they work when they're parents. In fact, we should do it for men and women, but for mothers in particular. You find a lot of mothers will start their own businesses because they need that flexible working, but what you find is if you allow a woman to be the mother that she wants to be, personally, professionally, she is far more productive and effective. That is exactly the same for athletes. So don't make them feel like they're compromising. Make them feel that they can be who they want to be professionally and personally, and they will nail it. They will nail it. And that is what we need to understand better in sport.
And you have the evidence to show that too with Towera and Claire, who are great role models for that going ahead.
Absolutely, and even look at the, you know, our coaching team. You know, Karen Atkinson, our technical director, who's leading courtside for us with Sirens this year. You know, she went and won the Super League with her previous club with a baby strapped to her chest, and she returned to coaching really quickly. Our national coach, Tamsin Greenway, you know, she's got baby Casey with her courtside at training. So again, no one says it's easy, but because we work with and around how they want to do it, we become innovative, we lean on a team of support around us. It means that they can still come in and be absolute world-class game changers, but they can do it in a way that they feel comfortable with and that they're not making painful compromises, because when you go down that route, then you lose the quality of the professional side of that individual.
Thank you, Claire, because it's so amazing hearing that, because that's just going to inspire and encourage so many women that they can do both.
Yeah, I think women feel that they can, but what needs to change is the mindset of leadership. And this is in every single walk of life. And I think one of the best things that's come out of COVID and flexible working shows that you don't need to be in an office. You don't need to do Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. It's about delivering outcomes, and being creative in how you get the best out of people is something that we all need to work at. But listen to the people. If you want to attract talent, then create an environment that allows that talent to come in and perform at its best. And this is the untapped potential of women in sport, media, industry, wherever it is. Let's think flexibly and let's bring that talent to a place where it can really shine and thrive.
Well, it's such an important message. Thank you, Claire. Le bonn-òir Geamaichean Oilimpigeach na pócha cheana, ha Emily Muskett an dochas go bhfuil ar go leor a cheanú gus áte chosna gan a skip a bhreithin ag na Geamaichean Oilimpigeach. Tá Emily Musket bharrachd me géin sin do t-seachdain.
Thásíigh brechta nach Emily Musket amach na spórs le lein bata. Mr. Ernich spórs aice go áracha go tógáil chuitemin.
I used to do pole vault as a sport, so for that I needed like extra strength and conditioning work. So my coach at the time said, why don't you go and try weightlifting and, you know, find a proper weights coach that can teach you the correct techniques. So I did that, and I went off to Crystal Palace Weightlifting Centre, which is where I went and did all my weightlifting stuff. And I had Keith Morgan, who was my coach at the time, and he said, well, you could be quite good at this sport if you decided to actually pursue it and change sports. And well, I wasn't sure at first because I was quite keen to continue with my pole vaulting, and it's just not a usual sport for young females to really take part in. So I wasn't too sure to start with, but started to really enjoy it and realised that I was actually quite good at it. So decided to change sports and haven't really looked back since.
Bhuaigh Emily bonn-òir ag na Geamaichean Oilimpigeach na 2008. Anfar a dúd I còmhla is go fat àrd-oifigear san spórs.
I mean, it had taken me 10 years to get to that point. So I'd been to 2 Commonwealth Games previously, didn't do so well in my first one in 2010. And then 2014 in Glasgow, I finished 5th, so that was a little bit better. But then to get to 2018 and actually win the gold was just like an amazing experience, really. And it just kind of just showed me that all the hard work was beginning to pay off, and I was finally achieving the results that I knew I was capable of. I think some athletes, you know, have really quite a quick upwards trajectory, if you like, in terms of their progress. But for me, it's been very much up and down, and, you know, lots of failures, few injuries along the way. But just, I think that progression that I just spoke about in terms of, you know, getting to a point where I didn't even make a lift in Delhi to then winning the gold, I think just shows that if you keep at it and you keep working hard, then you will get the results that you want. It's just a case of not really giving up and just taking each experience, you know, and using it to fuel your next phase of training and preparation for the next comp. So, yeah, it's been quite a journey, but it's overall it's been worth it, all the highs and lows.
Sa gibling Davi Lisana Richard, bhuaigh Emily bonn-òir ag farpar sin chearpa, a chiad sé bhreachta nach àd-oifigear sin a dhèanamh, pat fichid sa si a bliana.
I mean, I obviously was elated, but I'd had such a bad preparation for the comp that I wasn't really sure what to expect. So, yeah, it was just a massive relief, and just super happy because it went better than I expected. And obviously getting the gold is just like an amazing feat, really, especially given the track record and the amount of time it's been since the last gold medal. So, yeah, just a bit of an honour, and I think it hasn't really sunk in yet, to be honest. But yeah, no, I'm extremely pleased and really happy with that result. I think it was just a big week in general for just making history within weightlifting and female weightlifters kind of breaking the records and yeah, achieving lots of medals, which we've not really done in one championships before.
A service o iongantach a gyfrach go bhfuil còmhla Emily amas mór ach gyríon. Fain gúna Geamaichean Oilimpigeach.
Oh, it would literally be, without sounding too cliched, it would be a dream come true, because that's been like the ultimate goal since I was about 14 years old. That, like, all I've ever wanted to do was go to the Olympics. So if I do qualify, then that will be like a massive box ticked in terms of my life goals and life dreams, I suppose. But there's still a couple of months left on the of the qualification process. So I've basically just got to sit tight, wait and see what other weightlifters do around the world, and keep my fingers crossed that I go. So yeah, it's going to be a hard couple of months, I think.
Ha Emily a ganneach go bhfuil leisach agus fás idir bhí anta bhd an na tógáil chuitemin. as he endóchas bharrachd a gal Parsons spores.
Oh, it's developed massively. I think weightlifting only really became a competitive sport for females in the 2000 Olympics, so it is still quite a recent thing, really, seeing women taking part in Olympic lifting. I think it's definitely growing. I think some gyms you'll find you actually have a higher number of females doing the Olympic lifts than you do males now. And CrossFit has played a huge part in growing the sport, just because they have that Olympic lifting part of the fitness training. So it's really helped grow the sport and just expose it a little bit more, so people are actually a little bit more aware of what it involves and how it can benefit you. So yeah, it's definitely grown, and I think it'll continue to grow, to be honest, especially seeing female weightlifters actually be successful on an international stage as well.
Ha Emily Musket is an rutenheid colonics and spores, is he miaurachig in den urtus person te aice, and a tukal chuicheman.
I want to give back to this sport because I've learned so much from it and I've had so much support myself. I just feel like I could help the next generation and other athletes that have had struggles similar to mine, just help pull them through and provide a bit of guidance to them. So yeah, I think I will definitely stay involved with the sport. I know I'm approaching like the end of my career, and just looking back, I've definitely achieved more than I ever thought I would. International medals, you know, for the first 10 years of my career, I didn't get anywhere on an international stage. You know, it was always like 8th place, or, you know, in the world, it would be like 20th, 30th. And then to finally actually start seeing everything coming together and that experience starting to pay off, is just, yeah, incredible. I know one day I'll look back and I'll just be really thankful and just really proud of myself for everything I've achieved.
Claire, isn't it so inspiring to see strong women in every sense of the word?
Amazing. And, you know, but I'm watching this and I'm like, how have I not seen more of her? How do I not really know her name? And she's so humble, and yet she's this absolutely amazing champ at what she's doing and breaking records, and yet still just so humble to be on the journey. And I love that, but I'm also like, no, we need to really shine spotlights on people like Emily, and also what an amazing role model. You know, look at her body shape, look at strength. These are the stories that we need to tell, and these are the people that we need to showcase, particularly to our young girls out there.
And it does show the importance of visibility, doesn't it?
Oh, it's I say it all the time, but visibility is the #1 most transformational thing for any sport, and particularly women's sport. And, you know, to be able to showcase somebody like her who is strong and who is successful and who is resilient. I mean, talking about an 11-year journey there, but she's kept going, and now, you know, first British woman to win a gold in 26 years. I mean, that is absolutely phenomenal. So again, she's not saying it's easy, but she's showing that there's hard work in there. And these are stories that we need to tell. And I think that's the beauty of sport. You know, I'm very passionate about my sport, but there's so many sports out there. There are so many athletes. There's the technical discipline, the time and energy that goes into it, the people that are the stories of these sports. We need to tell them and showcase it. And particularly if we connect that back to, you know, not only in normal times is mental health at an all-time low, physical activity levels are not where they should be, self-esteem is very low, particularly in our young people, but coming out of a pandemic when women and girls have been hit hardest, actually telling these stories and putting these images and these people front and center, I believe, can be a real catalyst for driving some positive change in how we think and feel about ourselves. And healthy people is how we recover as a nation. It's how we're successful.
Well, that's why we love 360, which you've seen the progress from even netball through this season. But I mean, talking about netball and the Commonwealth Games, which Emily had mentioned, for you personally and the Scottish Thistles, Birmingham 2022 is coming very soon. Is that real targets for you?
Huge target for us, and we have lost pretty much 2 years actually. You know, we haven't taken to court as a national team since the World Cup in Liverpool 2019. We've got a fantastic new national coach. I say new, she's been in post for over a year, but she hasn't had a chance to get her team into international match play competition, which is why Sirens is so important, because we've got so many of our Scottish athletes competing week in, week out at a high level, which is fantastic. But for us, we are really looking forward to the restart of international netball. I actually met with a number of national home nation chief execs yesterday, their performance teams, to look at how can we create a competition calendar which not only prepares our athletes to go and compete, perform and achieve our targets. For us, that's top 8 at the Commonwealth Games, but also how can we restart netball and start to build on the momentum of the Super League, but start to bring in the international proposition and build brand netball, so that we've got this fantastic annualised programme where people can support, engage with, be inspired with and connect with our sport.
Well, I just need to ask and find out, for Netball Scotland in general, for the Strathclyde Sirens, for Scottish Thistles coming back soon, what's the feeling among the place just now, for the players, for you, for everyone behind the scenes?
Well, I mean, we are absolutely delighted with the Siren season, and for everyone to be celebrating the players that we love and have followed forever on their journey, and to be excited by our sport, you know, it makes the last year and how hard it's all been, and the fact that we haven't still restarted, and the fact that there are going to be closures of facilities and venues, and we're still figuring out how we can save and recover and rebuild our sport, but it just makes all of that a little bit easier. And I think I said it last time, and I believe it even more now, that even with how hard we've been hit as a sport, where we're sitting at the moment with, you know, the profile of netball, but more importantly the profile of Sirens and netball in Scotland, the plan that we've written and the direction of travel we're going in, we are more excited and ambitious for our future than ever before. We know we've got our work cut out, and it's not easy. It'll be made easier if people want to write some checks for us and help back us financially, because we're not short of opportunities or potential. We're always just trying to be as creative as possible with limited resource. But we're really in a fantastic space at the moment to actually be able to go and do the things that we really want to do as a sport. And a massive focus for us will be on improving the lives of women and girls, looking at the recreational game, looking at health and well-being, focusing on young people, looking at how we build an outdoor infrastructure, and looking at how we can use our platform and everything I talk about, how do we channel that into real programs that start to make a difference and start to drive this systemic shift change which we need across sport.
Well, there's so many plans, but I have no doubt that you'll achieve them all, especially even just you joining us on the sofa this season. Has been so great to watch the Sirens progress. So thank you very much for joining us, and we do look forward to having you on again, because there will be more progress, I'm sure.
There will.
Thank you very much. In àrd-oifigear we had a Lockhart call rooms in studio. Iongantach gyfel si length t-seachdain ar YouTube, agus géib si program Geamaichean Oilimpigeach BBC. Agus cuinnidh cuideach be Geamaichean SWPL fiag BBC an Geamaichean na Musket Rangers and t-seachdain BBC Alba. Geamaichean bharrachd còmhla a cluiche an a Champions League na ban an aithísan. Ach gan an áhuras, mar sin live an drast.